Welcome back to Fireside Giants. My name's Alex, Anthony down below, and Matt G, our O-line specialist. Today we are here to break down Shane Lemieux for you guys who are wondering, can he be our offensive guard for the future over Will Hernandez or Kevin Zeitler if they decide to move on from him after this season? I think it seems like they're going to hold on to Zeitler. He passed through the trade deadline untouched. I like this move personally. You don't try to mess with your best offensive lineman when your line is still trying to build. You have three rookies in there. Matt Parrott's getting more reps. Shane Lemieux now starting. Probably another week with Will Hernandez dealing with COVID. But, we're going to dive into things. And, Matt, I want to give you a chance to kind of give the fans an opportunity to learn more about what you do and why they should listen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys again for having me on the show and having me a part of the Empire Sports Media family. Basically what I do, guys, is I'm a varsity offensive line coach for a high school on Long Island, a Catholic high school. I played there. Now I coach there. Really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm in my second year. Actually, in the off season, I interviewed for a college coaching job, Mansfield University in Pennsylvania. Just decided with my career outside of football, it was better for me to just stay close to home and not move away to Pennsylvania and coach. I also train offensive linemen all the way from 9 years old up until, college. And of course, if any pro guys wanted to, I have my own facility. I train guys there. I've worked with guys such as Kyle Flood, who's the offensive line coach at Alabama, Alex Mirabal, who's the offensive line coach at Oregon. Paul Alexander, who was with the Bengals and the Cowboys, Bob Wiley, who was famous on Hard Knocks with the Browns. So I've worked with a lot of guys in the industry, guys who kind of helped me, create my own style. And I'm looking forward to breaking down Shane's film. He's one of those guys that I really enjoyed taking a look at in this past draft process.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you remember Paul Alexander, there was an article that came out recently with Paul talking about Andrew Thomas at left tackle and kind of what was been going on there. Mark Colombo, the issues, the technique hasn't translated from Georgia. But what we did see against Tampa was very promising. And today we're kind of break down Shane Lemieux, take a look at a bunch of different plays, and have Matt kind of run us through them, what he sees, what he likes, what he doesn't like. And there'll be a little bit more in there as well, just some good ones that I plucked from the group that we can take a look at. Some missed throws by DJ, some touchdowns, some pancake blocks. Is going to be fun to take a look at Shane Lemieux and what he succeeded in his first action as a New York Giant. So let's get started. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you guys so you can kind of see what is going on. And you'll see it here in 2 seconds. Okay. So here we are. Can you see everything, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So here we are, first clip. We're starting quarter one. We're going to go chronologically throughout the game, and you'll see kind of the progress the Giants are making. And what I really liked about this game was Jason Garrett's play calling, just to get that out of the way. He looked phenomenal in his creativity and everything he did in between. I was really impressed by what he has done leading up to that game in preparation. So hopefully that translates over to Washington and the Giants, bury them. But let's take a look at the first one. Pretty simple. Just wanted to get an easy one out of the way. So this is basically Shane Lemieux, one of his first snaps with the Giants. And right here, he just kind of swings over in front of Nick Gates and makes this block, and just pretty quick throw from DJ. Play one more time. The next clip is the really one that I want to focus on. But it's a nice shot pushing him over, Matt. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, if you rewind it a little bit, Alex, when you're talking about a guard, one thing we talk about a lot is either setting to the half man or to the full man. I prefer to set to the full man. The reason why I say that is because you try not to give the guy an edge. When you set half man, it really creates a problem. And like I said, it does give them the edge as the defender. Now, don't forget, he's going up against a guy named Dominic Kinsu here, who is a polished veteran with tons of success in this league, was a top interior D lineman for years. So don't forget, he still has enough in the tank where he could make Shane Lemieux look foolish. And I think Shane Lemieux held his own. So you see here, he sets half a man. It looks like they're probably running a stunt or something like that, obviously. And Dominic Kinsu is kind of going away. But to your point, Alex, he does shove him kind of into the Gates-Zeitler area. And he does a nice job of getting him out and creating that pocket for Daniel Jones, where if he wanted to, he could step up here.
Yep. Perfect. Completion there. Love to see it. Now, this
Yeah.
is the running play. God.
And I
What do
also
you have,
want to
Anthony?
point out on that last play that Andrew Thomas also did an excellent job one-on-one blocking
On
Jason
JPP.
Pierre-Paul on the edge there.
Yes.
Yep.
Looks
Very
like
nice
some really
reset.
solid hand fighting there and a nice way to block Jason Pierre-Paul's counter
Yep.
move on that pass rush.
I like how quickly his hands get back up, too. If you watch it again, like he gets his hands swiped down, and bam, he's already back up there.
Right.
Nice.
Yep.
He recovers nicely after Pierre-Paul puts a move on him, which is what you like to see
Yep.
because early in the season he wasn't recovering as well as we had hoped.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, I this is one of the plays that I'm pretty excited about. Actually, it might be the next one, but this actually goes back to Anthony, what we've been talking about for weeks now. Evan Ingram on a drag route across the formation. Where has this been, Jason Garrett? Finally, he's figuring out how to use Evan Ingram. I threw this in there because it was Anthony and I have been talking about this a lot.
Sure.
Yeah,
Bam.
I mean, I'm a big fan of getting Ingram the ball out in space on those drags and those shallow crossers, even deep crossers, crossing routes in general with Evan Ingram. I'm a big fan of that. And I will say, you said it earlier, and I agree. I was really happy with Jason Garrett's offense in this game. I think that week to week he's gotten better and better, and I think this week in particular, he really was a lot more aggressive, especially pushing the ball downfield. We can get into the discussion of whether or not Daniel Jones was good enough to survive in this game plan, but I definitely liked it, and I liked the aggressiveness downfield.
Yep.
Agreed.
And I think going back to that one play, guys, you don't have to go back, Alex, but just talking about it, seeing Shane Lemieux out in space, again, talking about personnel, getting guys comfortable and doing what they're used to doing. Shane Lemieux in that Oregon offense, very athletic offensive line. Again, I talked about it, but in the past, but 5 All-Americans on that offensive line. Played next to Penei Sewell, who's going to be a top 3 pick probably in the draft. Super athletic. They're fast paced. They run a lot. And when I say run, I mean offensive line wise. They run and they get to their blocks on
Oh
all
yeah.
zone. So they have to be athletic. So don't be mistaken when we talk about Shane Lemieux as that phone booth guard. He's not just a mauler. He's super athletic and can
He
move.
is fast.
Yep, he's very fast. So
I think we
You're gonna
see
see
that on
it.
this next play.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Play here. Look at this. Bam, engage. Look at that hole. When's the last
Yeah.
time you've seen that much separation in a hole for the New York Giants?
So
The
yeah,
way
so
he got to the second level there and put that block on Devin White, one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL, was really impressive.
Oh yeah, watch this. Right here, you're like, oh, this is not looking too good, and then bam, he just completely moves White.
yep.
Look at this. Oh,
This is really good, guys. This is what we like to call duo with a trap. Duo basically is just creating as many double teams as you can across the board. JPP gets a Academy Award here for selling a hold, which is absolutely atrocious because that's a great block by Zeitler. But to your point, he gets up when we talk about Lemieux. He gets up to the second level here, keeps driving his feet. He comes off the double team at a great time. Him and Thomas obviously have some good chemistry together, being both rookies. They secure that second level. Nice job by Thomas here, really.
oh yeah,
Creating the
pushing him
hole,
inside.
right? Taking the
He
guy out of the
secures
hole.
that.
Exactly. And then Lemieux just secures the second level here. So great job by both the rookies on the left side.
And you know what I will say is that we did not see that from Will Hernandez the first couple of weeks of the season. He was getting beat on these duos right here, like what you're saying, getting to the second level. Hernandez was not doing a good job of securing that block. And then Andrew Thomas has been actually decent in run blocking, better than he's been given credit for. His pass blocking has been the problem. He's consistently been getting better in the run game, though. So it's really nice to see that they really committed to Wayne Gallman and running the football. Even old Alfred Morris got a couple of touches in there. And if he can do well in the run game with the Giants, I don't even know how he has any legs left to run. I mean, anyone, imagine that was Saquon Barkley.
Absolutely.
So good to see there.
Yes.
All right, let's see here. Throw the shotgun. Another running play. See, okay, so here I actually thought the lead blocker. It looks like this is an outside zone type of play, but I don't like. Look at the hole that Lemieux opens up in the middle here.
Well, this is a power run, and I think Matt can confirm it, but I'm pretty sure it's a power run. And he's supposed to follow Zeitler, the pulling guard,
Right, that's
and
what
go
I
where he
figured.
goes.
Yep, it is power. It's just traditional power. Again, you watch Lemieux here. Double team kind of helps out Thomas here. Right now, when we talk about Thomas's struggles, it has been mostly with Will Hernandez next to him. So this block by Thomas is a good one, but it's because Lemieux gets a piece, okay, of Golston here, number 92, and it allows Thomas to get over and make that block, okay? And then Lemieux goes off and helps with Gates. So he actually picks up two guys here to help out with two other guys. So I think offensively. So that's a great job. Again, by that left side, and especially Shane Lemieux. I think again where he has struggled when you talk about Will Hernandez. Maybe it's not all Andrew Thomas's fault, right? And we talk about this in pass blocking. So it's a really nice job here now in the run game, running power. See a nice job by Caden Smith on JPP as well. But that's a nice run. That's a really nice run. That's a good job getting in the fight, as we like to say, by Shane Lemieux. Keep driving and just destroying your opponent there. So really nice job.
Right. Yep. Just one more time. And on to the next. All right. So this is where a red zone snap right here. I threw this in there because I had to. It was just everything on this play looks really good. Everything on this play, from Shane Lemieux to Nick Gates to Daniel Jones to Dion Lewis.
The throw was really pretty. Really nice stunt pickup here that you noticed from Nick Gates.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Look at JPP come around the edge there. Bam. He's ready for it. That's progression for Nick Gates, though. Love that.
It is.
And you know what that really is, guys? That's film study, right? So let's go back to that. And I want you, Alex, to play it for like a second and then stop it as soon as the guys twist, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay. So stop it right here. Okay. Now, the reason that Shane Lemieux stays on the defensive tackle, this is all film study. Nick Gates knows that that's his guy. Shane Lemieux doesn't go off of his defender here and take JPP because JPP is not coming in his gap, right? He has to take, because if he leaves the defensive tackle to go to JPP, that defensive tackle has a kill shot on him, right? And the most games is always the inside guy. So this is film study, knowing how the Bucs like to do their stunts and knowing that he has to pass JPP off to Nick Gates, and they do a really nice job of that.
Yep. I love the communication. We're already seeing Shane Lemieux, with that advantage. He's been studying. He's been working with this. It looks like they have more chemistry than Will Hernandez does, and he's been playing with them for 7 weeks straight. So really interesting to see this development. But you have to remember, Andrew Thomas is a rookie, so he doesn't have much experience with these guys anyway. You might as well try the rookies together and see what happens. And it looks like Lemieux might be earning some more reps after this week. But beautiful throw here, too, and Dion Lewis secures the touchdown. Really like this.
He does a nice job at the end of that, too, just kind of pushing the guy, what we say, off the hoop. The defensive linemen, they like to run those hoops in practice. They like to run around in circles. That's what they do all day. That's why I like to get on our defensive line coach, because that's all they do. But he does a nice job of drawing him outside. Again, if Daniel Jones wants to, he can step up, and it creates and keeps that pocket.
Right. Perfectly placed ball.
Amazing
Great throw by him from DJ.
Yeah, great throw. And I think one thing to notice on that throw from Jones, I'll just throw that out there, is another similar to last week against Philadelphia, where he recognized single coverage to Golden Tate and he saw the defender's back was turned to the football and he laid it out there perfectly. This is something that we're seeing as a trend for Daniel Jones, is a willingness to throw against single coverage. And I think that was another perfectly placed ball where he just recognized that the defender's back was to the football and he knew he had a chance. So we just need to see him continue to be accurate on those throws because it was a little inconsistent this week.
All right, let's see what we got here. Nice pickup, but he goes down. This is more of the right side of the line, I think.
This is actually more on Dion Lewis here. And the reason is, I remember watching this in the game, and it's a delayed blitz.
Yeah, you're right.
Where I think it's Devin White, I believe.
Yep.
Is blitzing here, and he kind of does that traditional. You see this a lot in Todd Bowles' defense. He looks back like he's going to cover. That creates some confusion for Dion Lewis, and he just misses the pickup here. But other than that, it's a nice job by everybody on the offensive line identifying where the blitz is coming from. Now you'll see here, number 24. He's the safety here. He's rotated over, so they have to account for this as the blitz. They have to account for 31 as if he's coming.
I love how Shane picks him up, though, Winfield.
Right. Yes, a really nice job. So they say those three guys for those three guys. It's a really nice job Would like to see him get a little bit more of that left shoulder, so he doesn't have that edge kind of here.
That's
But
right.
it's still a nice job to stop him in his tracks and to obviously not let a free run at the quarterback from his end either.
Yeah, this
Absolutely.
one's
Yeah.
definitely on Dion Lewis. He just
Yeah.
didn't recognize where the blitz was coming from, which is it's hard to fault him for that necessarily, just because I think this is like a really clever and well-designed blitz by Tampa Bay.
It
But at
is.
the
It
same
is.
time, Dion Lewis definitely he's the one who missed the block here.
Well, look where Devin White is looking. He's looking right in between Shane Lemieux and Nick Gates. He turns, his athleticism is so elite. He just bolts it right past. So Dion Lewis, he sees him looking, and Dion Lewis goes to fill that gap, and he just goes right in behind him. He doesn't even see him. That's just great athletic play and just a great design.
Yep.
All right, let's see.
See, now going back to the Pro Football Focus grades, do they consider that a pressure, by Shane Lemieux? That's the problem. Now, I want to bring that up, and we talked about this off air before. Pro Football Focus, we have to take with a grain of salt. It's great to an extent. They do a nice job for a lot of teams and a lot of different, guys like us to have different analytics. However, we have to take this with a grain of salt because we don't know who's grading, what they're grading. Again, that could be considered a pressure for Shane Lemieux. We don't really know, and I would really not consider that a pressure. So, we have to kind of, again, if you're watching this and you're saying, well, his PFF grade, let's just relax,
Right.
Yeah.
Dion Lewis was charged with 1 pressure, 1 hurry, 0 sacks this week, and had an
That was a
85.4
sack.
pass blocking grade. So I'm going to say that they must have seen something and had a different opinion on this play than we did, because
Sure.
Lewis with an
He gives up the
85.4
sack.
pass blocking grade and 0 sacks charge. I know
He
Nick
gives up the
Gates
sack right
is
here.
charged with a sack this week, and Andrew Thomas is charged with a sack this week. They're the only 2 that were charged. So I guess that they put this play on Nick Gates.
I don't know how, unless he can block 2 guys at once.
I could see maybe an argument for Nick Gates giving up a pressure, but I do think this sack is on Dion Lewis, because I do think that Nick Gates gets driven back here and is really off balance, as you could see right there. But I do think that's a product of him trying to get off of this block and get to Devin White because he recognized a free blitzer.
Agreed.
And I'll also throw this out there, maybe benefit of the doubt to PFF, playing devil's advocate a little bit. Maybe what they see is that actually Gates was supposed to take White and let the other guy through to the running back. Maybe that could be something with the pass blocking scheme, but I feel like that's a reach for sure, and I definitely don't see how PFF could actually.
Anthony, that's a good point, and I was thinking of that because if you look, Dion Lewis is looking right at Antoine Winfield, number 31, right? So maybe that is. Let's say if you look at White, and I think that's Golson again. I believe I'm not 100% sure. But if they slide to the right here and Lewis does pick up Winfield, then it is picked up. So it could be on, those 3 guys. Maybe, again, miscommunication. We don't know. Again, is it a good blitz? Yes. Either way, it's a very nice blitz. And you know what? It is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
By the way,
I think that's one of those moments where you just got to give credit to the defense more than anything, more than trying to charge a certain offensive player with a bad play.
Yep.
Agreed. Now, I love what Shane Lemieux does after this play. He puts Winfield in the dirt, and then he just sits on top of him.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, the aggression of Shane. And he pushes off of him to get up.
Yeah. Gotta love it. All right, let's see what we got here. Nice little throw to Sterling Shepard. They're getting the ball.
I'll say off the bat, one thing you notice here is how the entire offensive line slid to the left side.
Yep.
That I can notice off the bat.
Yep. It's traditional slide man protection where just 4 guys slide left and then the backside tackle is man. Again, nice job by Lemieux. Again, setting to the full man. His hand placement is really good here. Outside shoulder with his outside hand. His inside hand, I would just like to see a little bit more inside down the middle of the breastplate. If you rewind it just a touch, Alex, you could kind of see it where his hand actually kind of just comes up. It's right there. It's a little bit on like almost the helmet area, the neck area.
Yep.
If he can just slide that right underneath, but that's hand fighting. And listen, nothing's going to be perfect. That's a pretty decent job. But that's kind of where he gets an edge now as a defender, and he could rip through this.
Right.
I do notice that Lemieux's hand placement wasn't good initially, but then on the counter strike, you can see right there he has his left hand on the defender's stomach, so he did recover quite well.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets it. He right there. Just to slow him down enough. And DJ has
Yep.
plenty of time to go to Sterling Shepard. All right.
I mean,
Now, Matt, I wanted to get your opinion on this one because did I go too far back?
it's
Yeah, I went too
textbook
far
right
back.
there.
Yeah, let's see. He swings out. Lead blocker. You want to hit that guy? I mean, can't do much better than that, I'd say. Jumps
You can't,
inside.
yeah, inside shoulder, driving the feet. I mean, again, it's almost like I can't even say anything because it's just perfect. That
Yeah.
is how you pull. That's exactly what you're taught to do. Attack that inside shoulder, and again, keep driving the feet. It's just a really nice job. All those four guys right there, really great job. So can't complain
I'm
about it.
curious to what Saquon would do here in this scenario. Does he bounce this outside? I feel like that's his tendency, but it seems like it's designed inside.
Yeah, I mean, with the defensive end having his back here, kind of Evan Ingram gets turned a little bit. So I don't know if you can bounce
Yeah.
this, right
Yeah.
there. You can't really bounce that.
He's trying to do that. Yeah, it looks like it was purposeful.
So hopefully Saquon does hit that. And that's a nice job. That's what I like about
That's a good run.
That's a great job. I like that a lot about him. Yep. Nice job by
Yeah,
Lemieux.
he follows the play well. I like Wingo, and he should be getting more reps, in my
Definitely.
opinion. I like this. This is what Evan Ingram can do, by the way. This should have been a touchdown, but man,
Tate. Look at
you
Tate
get the
again.
go. No, but no, if you look at it from another angle though, by the time Ingram has the ball, Tate then starts waving his hands in the air like he wasn't open originally.
Well,
And
he
also
was breaking
DJ
open. And
Yeah.
go ahead, I'll say this afterwards.
DJ does not throw the ball well to the outside like that. So I'm already like, just throw that ball to Evan Ingram and let him do his thing because he's wide open here and he has the speed to outrun this linebacker.
Yeah, what I'll say about this
Devontae
play
David.
is I saw Jordan Renan, ESPN reporter, tweet this out and mention Tate putting his hands up and pointing out how wide open he is. But he is the second read on this play because it's a low-high read, and I think obviously that is why Tate doesn't get the ball. We mentioned this when we did our Evan Engram breakdown last week, that Evan Engram is usually the first read on like every single play in the Giants offense. The offense revolves around him and runs through him. So I think that Jones here actually does the right thing because if the first read is open, you obviously have to throw to the first read and not look off your first read. So I think it's kind of hard to criticize Jones here, even though Tate does break open on towards the end of his corner route.
I mean, just look at this right now. Tate is just breaking open, and DJ's already gotten rid of the ball. So he's not, I think he made the right decision because look how close JVP is to him right now. Like he's gonna get if he holds onto that ball, we're pissed off that he got fumble. He caused the fumble. You know what I mean? Like that's. Right. I think that was a good decision.
And Alex, if you run it back a little bit, to pre-snap, I believe that this is actually almost supposed to be a pick play by the outside receiver on Devontae David. And I think he kind of just misses on the pick route, the rub route. He comes across. Sterling Shepard, I think, is kind of almost designed to pick off Devontae David. And I think Evan Ingram's supposed to be even more open than he is here. And then you wouldn't have Devontae David trailing. And I think he would have a little bit more of a clear path to the end zone.
Yeah, I also think this throw is a little off, too. It's a little bit behind Evan Ingram. He has to turn his whole body and then reset. I think if he catches that in stride, it's an easy score. We saw that a lot from DJ, though. He threw a bunch of balls behind receivers in this game.
Yep.
So this is one of the
inaccurate balls.
Yeah, I mean, this is not on the offensive line. I also wanted to touch on this because I watched it in this from this perspective, and it really got me angry. Look at this. You have Darius Slay in the top of your screen, right? And you have the cornerback clearly biting forward here. He's staring at him. DJ is staring at him, and he just moves off of him, and he has to know what Darius Slayton is doing there. Like that's I think that's unacceptable. You can't miss that kind of throw. He's looking right at him. You have to give him another extra second. We've been on DJ so much for sticking to his first read way too long. This is one of those times where he should have just stuck to it.
Yeah, and again, if you've read the safety before the play, the safety's first move is to the right side of the field here.
Yep.
So he has Jameel Dean one-on-one with Slayton here. I mean, geez, gone. If you read the safeties, I mean, come on.
Exactly, and you see what happens instead, though. He waits way too long in the pocket. He should have got the ball out way sooner. Now he makes an off-balance throw, falling forward, and it's intercepted.
Yep.
I mean,
Those are the plays that
like
cannot
Matt
happen. That's a
mentioned,
touchdown compared to interception right there.
right? That's the exact coverage look that you want on this play, and he just doesn't take it, and it's really that was mind-boggling. Especially because I did watch this play myself earlier. You can really see the cornerback just staring into the backfield and biting down and not getting into coverage, like as if almost like as if he thought it was a run play and he was preparing to hit his run fit, and he's just standing there waiting to see what's happening in the backfield. And I feel like Jones definitely should have recognized that from the corner and really just should have known that he had Slayton for a touchdown. But
Right.
it's
I
a
mean, he's
busted
looking.
coverage, and he just doesn't see it.
This route by Slayton, he has to know the route that Slayton is running right now. You see the corner, you see Dean step up, and you already know that there's no way he's going to turn and go to top speed by the time Slayton is by him. You know what I mean? Like,
And the safety's hips are already flipped. I mean, it's
yeah.
just it's
That's why we're worried about DJ a little bit, though. These type of mistakes simply can't happen. You can't miss. This is the This wins the game for them. That's the point differential that they don't have that wins the game.
yep.
Yeah, and then I'll also say with the pass protection, the pocket does collapse here, and Evan Engram misses the block on the edge. He was put into pass protection on this play. I think that's Engram.
That's
But
totally
also,
Terrible.
if you want to think about it this way, is it's almost like it's a pressure just because the ball is still in his hands because the ball should have come out and it should have been a touchdown.
Yeah,
So it's you.
that's right.
I think you charge Daniel Jones with the pressure on this play, in my opinion.
I agree.
I mean, he has the ball in there for about 4 seconds, and then he moves a little bit. He steps up. This is something I've noticed. This is a trend with DJ, to get a little off topic. There's 2 things that he does. One of them is he rolls out to the right far too often because I think he has happy feet. He has the Eli Manning happy feet. Just weeks and weeks and weeks of bad offensive line play. He's kind of like subconsciously doing these things, these muscle memory things at this point. The second thing is he throws leaning back way too often. You're going to see a little bit later on his touchdown to Golden Tate. His mechanics are totally different than his interception right here, which he's leaning forward and he's off balance. On the touchdown to Tate, he stays in the pocket. He trusts his offensive line. He steps up and he delivers the absolute perfect ball right over the cornerback to Tate. And you're going to see it looks like night and day compared to the turnovers and what he did the rest of the game.
You have the Tate touchdown in this tape?
I do believe I do.
Okay, good, because that's the one I want to break down because that play blew my mind. And then the play that he followed it up with blew my mind in the complete opposite way.
Right. So this is another angle of the touchdown, and this is really for Matt because Lemieux holds his own against a defensive tackle right here. And what do you see from this, Matt? He stands him up, like he stonewalls him right at the point of no return.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you rewind it a little bit, nice job by Gates kind of helping out here, being able to kind of push him over to Lemieux. And then he kind of gets bull rushed here. He sets his anchor low and he kind of just flops back. You see his flexion and his ankles and his lower body there. It's more than 90 degrees, to be honest. And he is getting lower than the bull rush defender. So it's a really nice job by Lemieux, kind of recognizing the pass rush situation and then countering the pass rush, flopping back and getting lower than the defender, getting his hands reset.
Yep.
Right.
Play this back and just watch Nick Gates on this play take out 2 defenders and an offensive lineman on his second block here. This is just
also Andrew
amazing.
Thomas looks phenomenal too.
Yeah, but watch
nice
this
JPP. Oh
Gates.
Man, that's great.
That's pretty awesome.
That's great.
That's the progression you want to see from Nick Gates, man.
Yep.
Oh,
Andrew
absolutely.
Thomas
He's
too does
a
a
bully.
nice job. Like you said,
Yeah,
Alex,
Thomas. Exactly. That's Sue, I think.
That is so.
Son?
And that's a really nice job. You don't punch more than twice, so he does it here. Punches once, gets the separation, gets to his spot, and then just stands firm. Nice job, not over kicking. Really good job by Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, and you're looking at a whole offensive line there. They all pretty much did well in their assignments. You can't miss that play. When your offensive line is giving you that much time, that much protection, and really executing on their blocks, DJ can't miss those reads with Slayton running down the side of the field wide open. Those are the things that need to be corrected. Hopefully we'll see that moving forward because, again, if you beat a team like Tampa, that says a lot about where you are as a franchise, and I think even competing against them like we did says a lot.
Yes, agreed.
All right, let's see here. So this is one where I think I tried to get some ones in there that Shane did not look too great on. I want to ask you if he gets beat here. He kind of gets controlled, the line of scrimmage, and what you'd like to see different from him.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, here he kind of attacks the outside shoulder. I don't know if this was a traditional like split zone. I'm not really sure, again, what the play really is here. If this was supposed to be an outside run, like, is this supposed to go between Lemieux and Thomas here? And he just kind of cuts it back. I'm not really sure. I think that's really what it may be. I think that Gallman just takes a different path. Um, and I think that that's just part of the nature of the play, because I think he sets the edge. He does a nice job here, and then he reroutes him back the other way. It's not a terrible job. I don't know if that's really on Lemieux or if that's the design of the play. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't
By the
know.
time he gets the ball, it looks like Sue's already, or maybe not Sue, but
I think
the
it's
defender is
Golston.
already okay. It's Golson, so he's pretty much like what. By the time he fully gets the ball,
Yep,
he's pretty much getting tackled here. Like
he
he's
is. And you
already
know what it is?
screwed.
If you go back a little bit, Alex, if you don't mind, thank you.
Yeah, of
His
course.
pad level here is
Awesome.
a little high, right? He's right.
Hmm.
He's standing up. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what creates him kind of getting his balance taken over and then giving the defender the inside edge here, which creates more force back inside for Golson to fight back inside and create the play up the field.
Would you say you would prefer him to attack that inside shoulder instead?
Again, it really just depends on. I don't know if this play was supposed to go outside, because if it was, then he does a nice job attacking the outside shoulder. If he didn't, if it was supposed to go inside like that, Lemieux is way too high. And yes, he's definitely supposed to attack that inside, inside chest plate, his backside knee through his crotch, and then just drive up the field vertically.
Okay.
But
I'll
still,
say
I like.
again though, Nick Gates seemed to do a pretty good job on that play. He's just looking for work in this game. He's getting to the second level and making multiple key blocks per play.
Yep, really nice job.
Nice. All right. Let's see what we got here. I liked this play from Lemieux. This is the one where you saw his speed, by the way. Even though he didn't follow, Galma didn't follow the block. I really liked everything about this. He handled the spin move so well and then disengages and moves downfield.
Yep, again, really
Watch this
nice
from
set,
Golston. Bam.
good hands.
Completely gets him.
This is a screenplay. So it's almost like you gotta have to almost bait the defender. But he does a nice job of giving DJ enough time to where the pocket is set on the back side of this, right? He sets to him, nice, good hand, good punch, right? Look at his hands, good punch
Very nice.
inside, okay? Sets the anchor, gives him enough time, kind of lets him ride up the field, take him out. Good chip by Gallman to help out. Nice job staying with the spin move. Ball's out, let him go up the field, no problem. Ball's there, now he gets out in front. Now just run, find work.
Yeah, I think he anticipated Caden Smith following him here because of the open field, but he ends up just cutting it inside. Not really getting much else. But I like how at the end of this play, you look at Lemieux. He's just trying to hit somebody.
Yep.
He's just like bam. He's just going after him at the end.
Yep. That's a dream right there. A 300-pound man against a 190-pound man. So
Exactly. Like this. See, this is the one where he gets kind of pushed back on the bull
Yep.
rush here a little bit.
Yep, absolutely.
What would you see here that you'd ask him to do differently next time? Right here, he looks good. He has him in his sights, and he just gets completely overpowered. He just looks off balance, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of.
Also, he steps on it. He steps on Gates' foot. Actually, I think.
He does.
And
I
he
think he's
loses
moving back
balance.
a little too much here.
Right here.
I think that if you
That's
rewind it a
what I
little
saw.
bit, Alex,
Forward.
a little bit back.
Okay.
Yep. So he's if you stop it right here, right, just stay right there. Just stay right there. You don't have to keep moving backwards, right? You don't have
Yeah,
to
he's
keep
going
moving
back.
backwards. See how he's moving back his feet, and then he slides
Yep.
over? There's no need for that. He could have just stayed in that
Yep.
initial position, wait, and then punch. Right?
Yeah, I would say as long as you're moving back, you're always going to be off balance in that sense, and then you're risking obviously maybe stepping on another person's foot or whatnot, and he does that here. He does trip up a little bit. You see him that foot goes forward, and his back foot, his left foot goes backward, and he's already done.
And also look
And
at
luckily, they get the throw off.
and look at the hole that he creates. If you go back again, look at the hole he creates for the defender to go towards Andrew Thomas's side as well. So if you go back,
Right.
right, if you stop it a little bit, go back a touch. Okay, if he just again go here, stop. Okay, there's no need to. I understand he's going that way. Now stop right there. You're good. You're in good position. Don't keep,
Yeah.
look now. If he wants to, he could rush outside. He could swim move you. He could rip you. There's a lot of things he could do, right? Don't create that natural alley for the defender, especially inside like that.
Right.
Get your hands
Very
low
good
and
point.
rethink. Too late on the punch. He was kind of guessing, moving his feet, not his hands, and that was the problem there.
Yep. Another kind of a loss there. They luckily for Lemieux, Evan Ingram bails him out on both of these plays.
Yep, huge
You
play
don't
for
hear
the
that very often.
Yep, huge play.
Because
So
right
here,
here he does it.
yep.
It
I
looks
was
like he
just
does
gonna say
okay.
this is when we talk about setting half a man. Okay, this is where he sets half a man. Okay, he's not fully slid over to the defender here. I believe is that Sue 93. Yep,
Yeah, that's
Dominican
Yep.
Sue, right? And he creates an edge. You see the edge he
Yeah, the
creates by
second he
setting half
leans
a man,
forward.
right? And then it's done. He's lost it by his set. As soon as he sets
Right.
half the man, it's over. He lost that from the snap. If he sets to the full
Okay.
man, he would have been fine. Right? Boom, half the
So when you
man.
say he sets to half the man, what do you mean? Just
Yep,
for
so
everyone
half the
listening.
man. So he sets basically to the inside number here, the 9. When he needs to set to the full man, it's like a typical shade. So when he sets, he has to kind of go out and cover the full defender, cover the guy up. Is what I'm saying here. Make
Okay.
sense? Yep.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. So then that creates the edge. And if he would have gotten his outside hand more on that 3 of the jersey, then he would have been okay. But there he's
Here's another.
yeah, the same thing. Same thing. Sets half a man.
This looks like an adjustment, by the way, that the Bucks realized that they put Sue in there and they were just like attack his outside.
But look at the lane it creates.
Yeah.
Right? He sets the half a man. Hey, look at that right there. It's like right
Oh
there.
yeah, completely
Boom.
missed him.
Right? And he misses them because he's only setting half the man. That's a great job by Sue, veteran pass rusher, right? Just doing his job. Is this the same play, Alex?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't think so. No, it's not.
Okay.
no, it's not.
So this one, I just wanted to know from you because I saw this and it didn't really look like Lemieux did anything on this play, even though the
Yeah.
run was to his side.
Yep.
He kind of gets stuck behind Andrew Thomas here.
Yeah, I think that they're actually running a stunt here.
Okay.
Right? Do you see that? Do
He
you
tried
see
it,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, they run a stunt. So it's probably his gap integrity here. He probably has to go with the defensive tackle, but I agree. And at that point, he has to just work up the field, right? He has to,
Yeah,
as
because he
soon as
gets
he
stuck
see his
there.
guy go away, right? He's on the outside, you go away,
Right.
boom, now go up. Don't chase him.
He gets stuck behind Gates, I think. He like gets he's just
Yeah.
slow to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the hole was there because that if you go back, the nose guard defender kind of takes himself out of the play naturally.
Yep.
Right? Good job by Zeitler. I'd want to see Zeitler be a little bit more square here. Right? So let's pause, go back like a half a second, Alex. A little bit more. Okay, so let's pretend here that Shane Lemieux does go up on JPP here sooner, a little sooner. He sees the guy go away. Go back another half a second, Alex. Perfect. So he
Like
sees
right
the
here.
guy go away. Now go up to JPP here. Now Gates would be on his guy. Now Zeitler can work right up, okay, to Devin White.
Right.
Right? So if
So
you
they
play
keep
it,
going to the left.
so if you see it, he goes to him, but now he realizes I got to get JPP in Zeitler. We're talking
Right.
about Zeitler here,
Right.
right? So now if JPP was blocked by Lemieux, Zeitler could stay on him here, and now we're good.
Right. And honestly, it's kind of cool to see, Zeitler has pretty short arms if you look at him right here. You could look at a guy like Matt Parrott and his arm length. I know he's a tackle, so it's a little bit different, but it's pretty impressive just to see how long arms can be beneficial in just taking two guys out of any given play.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. This is okay. So this is one of DJ's interceptions, and this is what I talked about before when I said that he rolls out to the right side of the pocket when he feels like he has too much time. He tends to do this, and most of the time he gets himself into serious trouble. He did it on the first one. He ends up rolling to the right a little bit and then throwing off balance, intercepted. He does it on this one too, and you'll see he does it again later on the Darius Slayton 4th and 6 on the final drive. He gets bailed out by Slayton, who just makes a ridiculous play. But that every day of the week, that's usually a pick six or an interception at least, because you'll see it later. It's just like that should have never been converted. And he does this a lot. Like really, really solid pocket here. And the thing is, I would have really liked him to drop back and right there, he sees the pressure coming in from Gates, but just step up into this throw and throw it over the second level to the crossing route. I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's 81.
Mac.
Yeah, that's Austin Mack.
Yeah, it's Austin Mack. I would like him to step up and just loft this ball over the second level because he sees the linebackers jumping, but instead, you'll see he rolls this out to the right. He's just take the sack at that point. Right. You know, because look when you have very good defensive players and look at the proximity. He's throwing this ball, and the cornerback is within 2 yards, maybe less.
He's also in the grasp of the defender.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in the grasp, and I almost thought that they were going to blow the whistle, but I think since he was continuously trying to throw the ball, they didn't blow the whistle. Because we see that a lot around the league. The refs will blow the whistle when the quarterback's in the grasp. But I do think this is just a prime example of Daniel Jones not knowing when to take a sack. Because if there was ever a time to do it, I think that was the play where you say just live to fight another down.
I agree. Yeah, this is one of those plays where he rolls out to the right and you're like, bad stuff happens here. This is where you're like, this is going to be a problem because he throws this ball, maybe to Tate. I'm not sure exactly who it is. But you have a cornerback at that level on one of the best defenses in the NFL, and you make this throw, he's going to undercut it. There's no question about it. He gets away with a couple this game, by the way. There's 2 or 3 in this game that he gets away with that you just got lucky, man. You can't do that. He had a really bad game overall. Okay, and this is the one where Golden Tate, you're going to see Golden Tate, man. This is on the final drive of the game. Or it might be a little bit before that, but this one really, really was confusing. And, Tate was upset after the game. His wife was going crazy on Instagram. And you're going to see Golden Tate on the right side in the slot here just basically sit down on this hook route. And DJ looks at him. And he settles for Evan Ingram on the drag. But look how open Golden Tate is. If you see him, move this thing down a little bit, you probably can't see his eyes. But look, he looks right at Golden Tate too. You'll see him look for a second. You see right here, he looks like he's looking at Golden Tate. And then he turns over and goes to Evan Ingram. So I'm not exactly sure what he was doing there, but he missed a couple of these reads that are just like, you can't do that if you want to be a franchise quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one that I saw live, and I was screaming Tate was open. This was just a really frustrating game from Jones in general. I feel like you said, there was a lot of plays like this. But I also do want to some extent, just chalk this up to being a product of the scheme where Evan Engram is the hot read, and so he's designed to get the ball here. Maybe they're just trying to work Evan Engram underneath and get him the ball in space. But I do think you can chalk it up to scheme to some extent, but then there is a point where the quarterback has to be able to read the defense and get off of the first read and make this throw. So
and honestly, and I'm just talking about from a perspective of a coach. If I was coaching this, just in terms of my team, if you go back, Alex, if he was going to throw it to Ingram, like I agree with you, Anthony, I really do, and I understand what you're saying, right? Then throw it to Ingram now, like you know what I mean? Like then if you really are going to throw, he's open. Right, then throw to him now. Let him run, make the play. He kind of throws it late because I don't know what the read really. We don't know what the read really is, but let's assume it is Ingram. Throw it to him a little sooner. Like he also waits for that too.
I agree.
Yep, it's getting into space.
Yep. I don't know, his mental processing, reading the field this week was just really slow and all over the place, and I feel like it was a little bit out of character for how bad it was. I don't know if it was just a bad night or what, but it's definitely concerning.
Great this is fun pickup, by the way.
Yeah, this is the play that I was talking about a second ago.
Pass protection was perfect here.
Over here. Not only the pass protection perfect, but this play should have never happened. He is so lucky. He should buy Darius Slayton multiple beers after this game for bailing him out of this absolute disaster. On any other play, this is a pick six, and you're going to see why.
Yeah, I think that is
leaning
a great
back.
stunt pickup too, as Matt mentioned. I think
On
Andrew
both sides,
Thomas did an
actually.
excellent job here. Yeah, on both
Yep.
sides, really. He Jones just drifts into the pressure here. He has a huge pocket to step up through
He
if he
rolls to
goes
the right
forward
again.
here, you know. Yeah, and he
Problems.
rolls to the right, and I don't really understand why. Because if he
See, look at
steps
this.
up
What
there,
is
I
the
think
point
he's
of
got
that?
a lot of time in this pocket. This is a
Yeah.
perfect pocket by the Giants O
And look at
line.
this. He rolls to the right, and now he's got pressure in his face, and he's throwing off his back foot, leaning backwards with his whole chest exposed. Like
But
that, and now he's off the ground.
yeah,
He's off the ground here.
can we also talk about the scheme for a second? Now, if you go back, let's watch the routes. What are the routes doing here? Because no one's at the first down marker aside from Slayton, really.
Right.
If you keep going, you play this through, okay? Who's at the first down marker that's open right now?
Well, here you're going to see it from a different view in a second. Look at Dion Lewis underneath right here.
Yep.
He should have just taken this and just look at this. He's wide open right here. Daniel Jones is staring at him.
Yep.
You throw this ball,
Yeah.
you're easy first down. Instead of chucking it in the air with a prayer and a hope that Darius Slayton is going to catch this ball, break a tackle, and then get this first down.
He's actually lucky he underthrew it because Slayton comes
He
back.
really
to the
is.
ball.
This is pure luck. I wouldn't even say this is. I'm not even giving Daniel Jones credit for this. I'm saying he actually made this harder for himself, and
He made it way harder.
his best playmaker literally bails him out. Like that.
You know what's
This is a
weird
pick
here?
six.
If you rewind this, actually, I just noticed this. It almost looks like he pump fakes to the left side of the field. Is that what he does here? Let's see.
That
Like
little
you
jump.
saw that false step that he took. I'm not sure if he was considering stepping through the pocket or if he was trying to pump fake there
I
when
think
he
he
lunges
was.
forward.
I think he was trying to step up right here, and then he sees
Yeah.
Gates in his way.
He might have been
Gates
trying to
is coming
run.
around. Yep. So
Yeah.
Well, the
I
problem
feel
is
like
he's so shifty.
this pocket is so perfect and he just
So
drifts
look at
into
this.
pressure. And I feel like this is one of those plays where people complain, you know, we'll watch a Tom Brady play where Tom Brady sits in the pocket for 5 seconds, right? And then finds the open guy. And we're like, that would never happen for Daniel Jones. He'd never have 5 seconds to stand in the pocket. Well, this is a play where he would have. If he just stays in the pocket, he's got like 5 seconds to wait around. And it's a soft zone defense. Someone's going to eventually get open and he just doesn't just sit in the pocket. So, you know, it's a lot of the
I'm gonna watch
times.
from this angle.
A lot of the times you can really give a quarterback, you know, you can charge them for the pressures that they bring upon themselves.
Right. Now I want you to watch this angle because it gives you a better idea of just how good this pocket is. Look at this. He could step up right here. He has help with Nick Gates. Look how far he drifts. Look, like he literally they completely take out the pass rusher in the middle, and he drifts like
It's bad
4
tunnel
yards.
vision is what it is. He
Look at
gets
this.
such
1,
bad
2,
tunnel
3,
vision
4,
looking
5,
downfield.
like 5 yards. Exactly. 5 yards. He drifts all the way, throws this off his back foot. Now he's literally airborne.
and Dion Lewis is wide open. Dion Lewis is wide open.
This is exactly right. And I said this. I posted this on Twitter, this exact video, and I said, just watch Dion Lewis right here. He is
Deion
literally
Lewis is open now.
wide open. Yep, right there. Right there. He's open. That's a first down, and then some.
Yeah, Lewis gets the ball and falls forward for like 2 yards, and that's all he needs to get that first down.
He's looking at him. Good quarterbacks make that throw because they have the instincts to do it. He looks like he does not trust anybody.
I also think a good quarterback senses that there is no pressure within 5 yards to look at how much space there is for him to step through with that pocket. It is a perfect pocket, and you got to give credit to the Giants offensive line here. But I also do want to bring up the point that Matt made. I'm not a fan of this play call. I feel like this was really poor situational play calling. I feel like there really needed to be more routes going past the sticks. I think only one actually went past the sticks, and the other two were maybe too long developing to be a real chance here. So, I don't know. The play calling is a little suspicious, even though I do give a lot of credit to Garrett for calling a better game this week.
Also, props to Andrew Thomas, who's all the way downfield on the Darius Slayton run. He doesn't stop running. I appreciate the hustle here. Look at this. He comes running in, trying to just get a block off.
Yeah, he was moving.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Love to see that.
I thought this was great, too. This is one of my favorite plays of the night from DJ, one of the very few. The next one's coming up soon. This is why I refuse to give up on him just yet. I still have faith for DJ because it plays like this.
Again,
Coverage
just
is good, and he
good blitz
just
pickups too.
zooms. Yeah,
Good
very. I
blitz.
mean,
Pass
Shane Lemieux
protection's
looks
great
great
again.
too. Yep. Look at that left side of the line. Pretty solid there on the stunt as well. And they have another guy come in. Deion Lewis does a good job.
And Fleming also did an excellent job there picking up a stunt.
We'll rewind it one last time. Yep, very nice.
Let's just talk about that for a second. Can we just go back for a real quick second? Let's look at this offensive line. Let's just talk about something. You have Andrew Thomas, first round pick, who has underperformed in pass blocking right now. Okay, Shane Lemieux, fifth round pick. You're not expecting much. Nick Gates, first year center. He's gotten better, but again, Kevin Zeitler, an aging veteran, and Cam Fleming, who's a swing tackle. You're not talking about the 1990s Cowboys offensive line right now. I mean, this is a very
Patchwork kind of
below
situation.
average patchwork offensive line. Even if you put Matt Parrott in there, and I'm a big Matt Parrott fan,
Yeah.
but this is not. I mean, what are we expecting out of this offensive line group? And you can't ask for a better job of what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Props to Mark Colombo, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, props to all of these guys getting themselves ready. Props to Colombo getting them ready. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Nick Gates, man, he's getting better every week, and he's an undrafted free agent who is playing his first season at center. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. We got Shane Lemieux. Nobody over the nose. This is the throw. This is the throw that made me believe that there is still life in Daniel Jones, but okay, this is the finally he stands in the pocket, right? He doesn't roll out to the right. He doesn't do any stupid crap or he gets scared, happy feet, and he's running around. He stands up in the pocket like we've seen good quarterbacks do. And look, he doesn't throw off his back foot. He's not leaning backwards. He steps into this throw, and it's an absolute dime. Watch this. He stays in the pocket, and he doesn't drift out to the right. He steps into it and throws this ball over.
Yeah, he actually had
That
Shane kind of in his lap here too a little bit at the end.
Yep.
So it's a nice.
But that's the quarterback we know he can be. He just didn't look like he was comfortable because he was scared. Maybe he was worried that Will Hernandez wasn't in. Didn't know what Shane actually was giving him. But overall, you can't ask for a better play than this. I mean, Shane Lemeiux they could have done a little bit better on that left side, but that throw was pinpoint. That's the throw. And I know Anthony has a few thoughts on this as well.
I do, and I do wish you had the other camera angle in here so I could confirm this because I haven't watched the film on this play just yet. But when I watched it live, I think this was a cover 4 coverage. And basically that safety is just sitting there waiting for this route. And the only option Jones has here is to wait for Golden Tate to get behind that defensive back and then put the ball in a literal perfect spot. This is like a 1 in a million throw. He fires us in there with tons of velocity and drives this ball through the back of the end zone into a perfect spot. And I just think that this throw is one of those things that's just so incredibly difficult and so mind-boggling that he can make a throw like this and then miss a throw like the one to Shepard earlier in the game or the one to Slayton earlier in the game. Like the inconsistency is just it's so frustrating and makes my head explode because he goes from this play where this is the coverage. This route is not open. This is not open. This is the coverage that Tampa, this is perfect for them. This is exactly what they want here. They want Daniel Jones to take a shot into the end zone here. They're playing cover 4. Like there is nowhere to go with this football, but he just finds a way to fit a ball in an extremely tight window and complete a really clutch touchdown pass. And then on the very next play, he's got a wide open receiver and he waits too long and doesn't throw it. And just things like that, where he goes from here to here.
I love this play, by the way.
The play design is great. And another thing about this play design is, yes, the first read, the second play, this one, is the read is to go to Deion Lewis as soon as he's open. But if you hesitate, you have Shepard running this drag route across the formation on the left side. So that's the second read. And if he hesitates here like he does, then he should know that he has Shepard coming across the other side. Like, I just don't understand the hesitation, though, because this play works to perfection.
I mean, Deion Lewis is the pre-snap motion in general, they put was it Engram and Levine Toilolo in motion right off the bat, and then they put Deion Lewis in motion right into his route. And he's
also,
open.
I need to see less
right
Levine Toilolo. I need to see less Toilolo on the field.
Yeah,
he's terrible.
Yeah.
He's going to be gone after the season anyway. It's not a 1-year deal. It's a 2-year deal with an out.
I almost wonder if this play would have been better with a sprint out a little bit. Just getting him moving. But again, that ball, obviously, we talked about it. It needs to get out sooner.
That ball should be out now.
Yeah, it should be out now. And I
He's
think
looking
that,
for it.
yeah, and when you talk about it, I think also when you roll out Jones here, it creates the momentum that it is going to go to Lewis, where you would have Sterling Shepard even more open, because then it removes Levante David from that window. I think that if you had and they also called a timeout. Don't forget this. The Giants lined up and shifted to this play right before. They came out and they did the same exact thing. So they were running this play no matter what.
I noticed that.
And so that's something that, usually when they shift to something or you have a look and then a team calls a timeout, it's very rare you come out in the same play again. So I was surprised they stuck with this.
Yeah, this is all DJ's fault. This play design is great. I mean, you can't ask for a more open receiver in this scenario, but this game should have been tied.
And the placement on this ball isn't very good either. This ball needs to go to the pylon, and it's not even close. The ball needs to, it needs to lead him towards the sideline if he is throwing it this late. Of course, you throw it here, you don't have to put it to the pylon necessarily, but it's such a late throw, and the placement's so poor. And really, I think he's kind of flat-footed on this throw too. I think the mechanics.
But I was going to say, it kind of shows his lack of arm strength, to be honest with you. Not only is this ball late.
Personally, I think what you might be seeing with the arm strength, I think this was a lower body issue on this play, because when he hesitates here, I think he wants to throw it and he doesn't, and I think his feet get locked and they're a little flat, and then he doesn't get enough.
I don't get why he changes his feet. He resets his feet. Watch this, right there. He resets his feet. Now he's not squared to the receiver here.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I also wonder, guys, Alex, run this a little bit, like another second or two. Does he have Ingram here as well? Like, because if Winfield goes to the shoot route with Lewis, does he have Ingram with inside leverage here?
Yeah, I think so.
It's tight.
But really, I mean, you look at the mechanics on this throw. He's so off balance. Like look at the way you had to pause just a second ago. Look at how he's like on one foot after he throws this ball. Like the mechanics are so off here. Where he's just so look at his lower body and how slanted his lower body is, and he's putting so much shoulder and arm into this throw rather than just using his body and putting a good throw towards the pylon. It's just a lot went wrong on this play, but none of it was on. You can't put any of this on the offensive line. You can't put any of this on Jason.
It looks like Stonewall.
And the receivers, it honestly looks like every receiver is breaking open on this play. It looks like all of them are about to break open. I mean, Caden Smith is breaking open at this point too.
Yeah. And this was DJ's fault. DJ honestly lost this game for the Giants, but I mean, it happens. Hopefully he can come back from it. He has 8 weeks to prove to us that he is capable of being, our quarterback of the future. Joe Judge said he is our guy. We're not benching him. I don't even know how someone would ask that question. Why on earth would you bench Daniel Jones for Colt McCoy, who obviously does not have a future here? Whatever beat writer asked that, just goodness gracious.
I know who asked.
Pat Leonard. Was it Pat Leonard?
Jordan Rannon.
Wow.
And I was surprised because Jordan usually doesn't ask questions that bad. And then he tried to explain it on Twitter why he asked, and I didn't really. It was just a bad question, I think. I don't think that was one that needed to be asked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like, why would you? I mean, I guess the idea is like you have to sit him because you have to teach him what he did wrong, disciplinary stuff. I don't know.
Right. His reasoning was he's not really saying should we bench him because we think Colt McCoy is better. It was should you give Jones a week off to reset? And it's just no, obviously not, because you need as much film on this guy going into the offseason as possible if you're going to consider moving on from him.
Not only that, but having more comfort in the pocket. Let's say the Giants have a good offensive line week next week again, and he's starting to get the idea of having some time in the pocket, feeling comfortable. I think that's actually more beneficial than benching him and watching the happy feet.
I agree. Let him learn from his mistakes. Go out the next week and prove that he did learn.
I mean, look at Andrew Thomas.
Corrected them.
Didn't have to bench him for him to have a decent week this week, so.
Exactly. And I think that obviously this week, the Giants have had success against the Redskins, but they just squeaked out a win with them, last time. And Jack Del Rio's defense is a downhill attacking defense with a fantastic defensive line. Giant killer Ryan Kerrigan coming off the edge. Again, I think this is the week where really let's see more of Matt Parrott. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Again, Cam Fleming does a great job as a swing guy. That's his career path, and there's no problem with that. Cam Fleming's a guy that if, God forbid, your starting tackle goes down, he could fill in a game or 2 or 3 or 4. He's not a full season tackle, and it is what it is.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And, this is it for the film breakdown portion of the video. What I will say, my last words, is that the Giants have lost their last 3 games by a combined 6 points. They are not far off from being a decent team. They're competing against some really, really good teams. It's really just about finishing. They just haven't been able to finish. And a lot of it's come down to their offense. The defenses look good for the most part. Daniel Jones had a bad game. Evan Ingram's drop. This is what we're dealing with right now. Against Dallas, I think the defense could have played better, but that's that number 2 corner position coming to bite you again. Ryan Lewis, Isaac Yadom, Corey Ballantyne. That rotation is not going to be the same next year. We have to believe that. So there's progress being made at a lot of different spots here. I'm pretty confident the Giants are going to turn the corner, whether it's next season or later on this year. But I'm seeing a lot of things that I like in terms of progression and where this team is headed.
Me too. I think you got to say that you do see this team is starting to turn the corner. Like, it is starting. Things are starting to pick up. I think the coaching staff is improving. Patrick Graham's been great all year. I think Garrett's doing better. I just think that when the rest of the team starts to click and turn the corner and the quarterback doesn't, that's a huge red flag and a huge question mark. Because I'm the guy. I'm the DJ guy. Like, I love Daniel Jones. I fully believe in him. But this past week, whether it's just a bad game or whatever, this one does have me questioning the quarterback position. And I do think this is it. It's now or never. These final 8 games of the season, we really got to see Daniel Jones step up and prove it before we have some difficult conversations in the offseason.
Yeah, no doubt about it, guys. I think this film breakdown was fun. Again, you saw them compete against a very high level NFC, opponent. Excuse me. And again, back to the division this week, and let's just see what happens. Again, just seeing progress. Again, you guys talked about the coaching staff. That's been the biggest difference. They're definitely better under Joe Judge and company than they were under Pat Shurmur. Headed in the right direction, and hopefully, we can see some fruits of their labor pay off, because they're better than a 1-win team right now.
Absolutely. I would agree. So everyone that stuck through the entire video, I really appreciate, sticking around, having some fun, learning a little bit. We want to make this a weekly thing and break down some players of your choice and get you guys involved in this process. So we had a lot of fun doing this for you, and hopefully, you keep coming back and learning a little bit more every single time, and you keep sticking with the Giants with us, because we're not going anywhere, and neither are they. So appreciate it, guys. And thanks, Matt, for coming on and teaching us a little bit about Shane Lemieux.
You bet.